Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. More Birthright and more of the additional bloodline abilities from blood enemies. Before we jump in, just a quick shout out, if you want to see videos like this early and other exclusive D&D content, other cool stuff for the games we cover, check us out on our Patreon. We got a lot of neat things there, guys, and all the support really helps out the channel. So let's jump right in. Major resistance. It exists at minor, major, and great abilities, and one of the rare ones from this set where everyone has access, or every bloodline has something to do with this one. So, the resistance ability in the core rules outlines only the most common resistance to attacks or spells prevalent in each particular bloodline. Like the original ability, all right, so this is kind of like regeneration going to major regeneration, now we're going resistance to major resistance. So like the original ability, major resistance at minor rank is 25% immunity, major is 50, and great is 75 to the noted effect. Again, this ability is most similar to the resistance an elf has to sleep and charm spells, for example. So there's some additional ones here. So charm, this ability is identical to the elf's resistance to charm spells and spell-like effects of the standard resistance ability of the Andurus bloodline. This further conveys resistance to the fear blood ability. New derivations for this, Azrai, Brenna, and Rainier. Magic. So, like a number of rare creatures, this scion of the blood is naturally resistant to the effects of magic, whether from spells or items. So it applies to all types of magic except blood abilities, right? Because that's more of a divine magic. Note this ability is only accessible to those of great bloodline rank or higher, and can be accessed only at minor rank, 25% magic resistance. New derivations for this one, Andurus, Azrai, Rainier, and Vorin as well. Resistance to non-magical attacks, which is again pretty scary on some of these monsters. Unlike the other major resistances, this ability does not immediately prevent attacks or effects from happening, but it does lessen their impact. So again, you got the same breakdown there. From normal weapons or natural attacks is reduced. For example, an Anche with this ability at minor rank is damaged for 8 points of damage, but only 6 points are subtracted from its hit point total. And here's some new derivations again, Azrai, Brenna, and Masela. So basically, more and more characters will have access, not characters, but PCs, NPCs, monsters, what have you, will have access to a lot of these. And basically just lets the DM be a little bit more creative with coming up with some neat challenges too for players to deal with. Poison is another great part of this. If a character with this ability is exposed to any type of poison, they roll to neutralize the poison outright according to their rank ability. If it fails, you still gain saving throws versus poison at a +1 bonus per rank. And again, we get Azrai, Basaya, Brenna, Masela, and Rainier for this one. And last but not least with this, bear in mind that blooded scions may have other types of resistance, but these abilities are currently limited enough to be considered unique to one family or bloodline. So it's just another enhancement of what's already there from the core rules, but that being said, still pretty neat, and again, just really can up the challenge level for parties if they're trying to deal with certain NPCs or Anche, right? But it's also cool if your character has access to that, and maybe it makes them uniquely specialized to take on certain challenges. But for certain monsters, right, it's going to mean that the party's going to have to certainly be diverse in how they are able to deal with threats. If they're lacking in a certain area, right, that could be pretty problematic if some of their primary attacks are just useless or rendered mostly useless because a adversary has this ability, and especially if it's at like 75% immunity to something, right, that's going to make it very challenging to do competent damage. So let us know what you think in the comments, guys. If you've used this and how you've incorporated it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.